You look pretty tired.
I am tired.
This is one of the worst things you can say to somebody. I literally, when someone says that to me, I immediately, because some days I don't even feel tired and they tell me I look tired, which that's even worse feeling, right? In this video, we're gonna be talking about what contributes to you looking tired and what are those signs, what are those symptoms, because it's maybe not, it's just one day, right? Your skin might be looking great, your hair might be looking great on a week-to-week basis, but there's just one day of the week where everything kind of looks off and you look tired. So what contributes to this and what can you do about it?
Right, we said in a previous video, there's almost no, I said it, there's nothing you can do to compensate for a poor night's sleep, but we'll show you the best ways that you can help your skin look awake if you look tired, but you're really not. So how to treat a tired looking face, here we go.
Here we go. Shout out to Medicube for sponsoring this video. They are probably the largest Korean skincare brand at this point, and they're always launching just incredible new innovation into the market. So we're very excited. We're gonna be talking about 2 of their products that are gonna help you with your wake up morning routine, in addition to a bunch of other products and hacks that we're gonna be talking about in this video.
Right, so whether you are tired, whether you just look tired, we'll talk about what causes that tired appearance, and then also we'll build you a full morning routine to help wake you up.
Right, and so I think the best thing to do is jump in and start building you that morning routine, because you're probably tired, you're probably not looking your best or feeling your best right now, and maybe you have a big day ahead of you. And the worst feeling is when someone tells you that you look tired. And so what can we do to just rejuvenate the skin super quickly on those days where you're just not feeling your best?
So my first thing would be to get up and move. So I think one of the things most people experience when they wake up is puffiness. And so there are definitely some lymphatic things you can do. We'll talk about some of those. But I'm definitely a wake up and exercise type of person. I do that before anything else, and then it actually obviates the need for any other depuffs for me.
I think that's completely fair, and it's actually something that I personally noticed myself. So there was a period, and thankfully not so much now as it was before, but there's a period where I was traveling a ton, as you know, and I was in a different city, multiple times a month, and oftentimes in different countries in different time zones. And my body really stopped responding well to these constant changes, and I would look terrible, but I was flying to places because I had these events that I was going to where I would need to speak or be on stage, and so that was the worst, to be looking tired and puffy. And I'm really sensitive to fluid retention. Like any amount of fluid retention, I look puffy immediately. And so I noticed that exercising in the morning, I'd get up early, and I don't normally exercise, but I was normally exercising, just running on the treadmill for 20 minutes helped a ton with the puffiness and fluid retention that I was experiencing. And so I definitely think exercising in the morning, just some small amount of cardio in the morning, can make a huge difference to the puffiness and even just general wake up experience. I think if you sweat a little bit, it does make a huge difference to just waking up.
Yeah, because not only do you sweat out some of the excess fluid, but every time your muscles contract, it contracts the lymphatics, moves the veins, moves the blood in your veins back through circulation. So really it hits puffiness at all fronts. Now, this is a little bit of a controversial one. I've noticed a problem I am specifically having, and I think it's related to my late to mid 30s. We're still gonna go with like the later part of my mid 30s. I wake up and I have a pillow crease. I didn't really believe this was a thing, in all candor. I would wake up now and I have this like line from where my face is like smushed in on both sides. It goes away in about 2 or 3 hours. But this is a new thing and it's a problem for me.
Don't tell me you're gonna recommend a pillow.
I am now going to sell you the world's softest, I don't have a pillow for you, but I actually believe it might help. I've seen people sell pillows before, especially with face contours, not necessarily anything else, but I do believe this might be helpful.
I think as long as you're not sacrificing your sleep with this wacky pillow and you're getting good sleep, I think getting good high quality sleep is better than having a wacky pillow that helps prevent a line, but yeah.
Just life,
AG. Now, the second lifestyle thing that I'd recommend has to do with all this fluid retention and puffiness as well. Like I said, I'm very sensitive, so I've had times where I need to try to make it better quickly. And so I've thought a lot about this. There's a couple things. Salt. So I'll try not to eat a lot of salt the night before or the morning of, because salt does lead to fluid retention, which can make you look a lot more tired. Sugar, for me, I don't know that this is universally true, but I know that when I eat a lot of sugar, I eat a lot of candy. I love candy. Reducing that sugar intake also helps with my puffiness. And the third thing is minoxidil, oral minoxidil, or even topical minoxidil, for me, causes a lot of puffiness. So if you're somebody who is looking tired or has a big event, taking a break with that, as long as it's not being used for your blood pressure, but more for hair growth, taking a break from your oral minoxidil can also help a bit with that puffiness.
And so those are some of the lifestyle changes that can actually make a really big difference on how you wake up in the morning and how you present yourself for the rest of the day. But we'll go on to some of the topical products and treatments you can use here too.
Right, so let's start with the area where I think tiredness shows first, and that's the under eye and eye area. So there's a couple things that are going on here. One, I think the eyes directly, right? So, you know, your sclera, I do think that you can get a lot of bloodshot from being tired. Maybe you're not even tired, but your eyes are bloodshot. I do think that can definitely make you look tired or worn out. And so what can you do there? Number 2 would be dark circles, and number 3 would be, again, the puffiness that we mentioned. So for the bloodshot eyes, there are topical things that you can use here to cause the vasoconstriction of the eyes. I know that not a lot of ophthalmologists like these because they can cause rebound. Vasodilation can actually make the bloodshot worse, but VISINE is something that does help with that immediate bloodshot eyes.
Right, and so in a pinch, although not optimal, maybe it's acceptable. I think it's a good phrase that I use over the years. There's some times in life just you have to do with what's acceptable, even though it's suboptimal. And I do use these occasionally before we shoot. Like today I did too. It just is what it is. Infrequent use, it does help, does work.
Yeah, and there's a couple times where Dr. Maxfield was saying earlier before we shot the video that, you know, this just kind of like drooping that occurs in the overall face, and there's not much that you can do about that. And you do, you just kind of feel down. Everything feels down. Everything's like pulling in the direction of gravity. You feel tired. And there is a medication called UPNEEQ, which does help. We use it for people with tired eyes because it helps with this muscle contraction above the eyes. It helps to open the eyes further. And it can be even used for people who get a dropped, eyebrow or eyelid from Botox. And so UPNEEQ does give you a wider appearance. Again, not something that I generally recommend to people, but if you're somebody who does need to be showing up for a big event and you're looking tired, something like an UPNEEQ, which can lift the eyelids a bit, can make a big difference.
Right. So puffiness, you can treat puffiness globally like we talked about. I've always actually been a relative fan of the cold cucumber hack because it really does no harm and it does also work. You can take a frozen cucumber, you can gently massage this area, just leave it on and it will depuff over time. You can also use some different products that have like cool metal rollers that you can use. Ingredients like caffeine help. And then yes, facial lymphatic massage will also help to depuff this area. It's not just directly here, but the lymphatic chain further down as it goes towards your heart.
Yeah, and dumping your face in an ice bath, all the health hackers do this. It's not something I frequently recommend, but on a day where you are feeling and looking very tired, that can help with the vasoconstriction. It can also make you just feel more awake because you're freezing. So, taking a cold shower contributes here as well. So let's talk about the Medicube under eye masks, which are an extremely viral product. And under eye masks in general have really gone beyond just like a bathroom treat yourself thing. I see people at the airport wearing these under eye patches at the airport in transit, not just your average person that you would expect to be doing this, but I saw a group of men that were going to one of the FIFA soccer games, all decked out, all with under eye patches. I was blown away. It was not your average demographic, let's just put it that way.
So you do see this being more widely adopted. I mean, we've watched the evolution of this over a period of years, and I'm going to be using these myself because I actually love this product for multiple reasons. When you're targeting the dark circles and all the puffiness, all of these changes around the eyes, you're going to treat the skin, the structure, the fluid, but you also, in my opinion, it's a sensitive area, and that's, I guess, a generally recognized opinion. It's not just mine. So because the skin is so thin, fragrance-free is a nice option. This Medicube PDRN, pink caffeine collagen eye patch, fragrance-free, and it also has a ton of great ingredients as well.
Yeah, so it's got PDRN in it, which is an ingredient, especially under the eyes where your eye's thinner, you're gonna get better penetration of this ingredient. Now, most of the data comes from injection PDRN, but regardless, topical PDRN, some does get into the skin and that helps to support your collagen, and that's more of a long-term effect of this. Caffeine is gonna give you that immediate depuffing. If you put this in the fridge, that will also give you that immediate depuffing from the coolness underneath the eyes. And I also think that occlusion just helps to lock in the ingredients better. So I do think eye masks and like these hydrogel masks that people use do help ingredients get in there better. And so you have hydrating ingredients to this, you have a plethora of peptides, you have acetohexapeptide type 8 or argireline, which has a Botox-like effect on the skin. You also have niacinamide, which helps with the dark circles. So a lot of the under eye issues that you're trying to target is targeted with both the ingredients and the format in which this product is being presented.
Correct. Now, I love an eye patch in the fridge, and today would be a perfect day for that. But here's the question I have for you. Which eye is the correct way to wear this patch?
You're wearing it, right? Oh, no, I think it's this way. Is that wrong?
There is no right way. I'm gonna put my stamp down on this one because I see it in the comments sometimes, and then you go to the websites and they have it shown this way, that way. There is no right way. There is no right way. Wherever this thing gets on the surface area of skin you're trying to treat, that's fine. If you want a little extra wing out here for the periorbital areas, perfect. If you want to maximize the broader base here underneath the eyes, that's perfect. I think generally, Let me just feel which way they are. Nah, either way. Wherever your lines are, wherever your dark spots are, wherever your skin concerns are, it's fine, it's acceptable. I'm putting my foot down on that.
I think this is the right way, but it could be the wrong way. I don't know. Everyone looked this up at some point, but I think this is how I've always done them. I could be completely wrong. Yours are drifting down your cheeks.
Gravity. I don't have as robust of cheekbones as Dr. Shah. And
These aren't cheekbones. These are
maxillary.
chubby cheeks. Chubby cheeks.
I think we're a little sleep delirious. Okay. So again, a stacked list of ingredients, all of which actually play perfectly in this area for both the short-term and long-term benefits that you would want to see over time. So this doesn't have to be just to treat yourself. It doesn't have to just be the one-off for a tired day like today for me. This can give you long-term benefits with consistent use as well.
So let's move beyond the eyes, because I think this is the area that most people are going to have complaints about. And let's move to the rest of the face. So what are the other issues that can make you look tired and make you not feel as good or look as good as you want to look? So I think the second area I would notice is probably texture and dullness. So let's cover the texture area first. There's not much you can do like instantaneously for texture, but I do think that exfoliating pads, and now you're gonna say, oh, am I gonna use an exfoliating pad in the morning? I would say yes. I would venture to say yes, because a lot of times, if exfoliating pads are gonna make you more sensitive to the sun, it's gonna do so whether you use it morning or night. And regardless, you're gonna wanna wear sunscreen. So exfoliating pads, a lot of times I notice, different than an exfoliating serum, where you're just gonna place it onto the skin. I notice an exfoliating pad gives you a little bit of like mechanical plus chemical exfoliation, especially if you rub them gently over the skin. I notice that my skin texture improves almost instantaneously when using an exfoliating pad.
I think the play on that is, so some of these texture pads, they do add like a little bit of hydration. I think that's the only immediate benefit you'll get with any topical with texture. Hydration does matter. And then also I do believe that, that mechanical exfoliation, we do just have to slough off superficial parts of our skin cells every single day. You do accumulate dirt, debris. And so even just the gentle motion of wiping that on that can give you an immediate benefit. But the long-term benefits with exfoliating pads, again, that does add up over time. So you just look less tired over the years.
There are a range, there's so many different exfoliating pads that are out there. I mean, Medicube also has probably the most robust line of exfoliating pads. Their Zero Pore is extremely viral. I like the Zero Pore Sensitive or Zero Pore Mild. Zero Pore Mild, that's a really good option. And the ones from First Aid Beauty, I think their Facial Radiance pad they're called. That's something that I recommend often to my patients as well. A bit spicier, but definitely gets the job done in terms of texture.
And continuing on the train of thought of hydration and the benefits that brings to tired skin, if you think about dullness, I mean, skin looks flat. Like I know this for a fact when I look in the mirror in the morning, it just is flatter and it gets better throughout the day. And hydration is probably gonna be the most meaningful way you can change that and just wake your skin up. And I will say, when it comes to hydration and that just tired feeling, I'm gonna combine it with some of the things we also talked about. I love like a nice essence that's cold, especially some of these new ones, like a green tea toner or green tea essence. Put it in the fridge, take it out, put it on in the morning. I love that way to wake up in hydration. It's almost like a splash in the sink that's also functional for your skin.
Ooh, okay, like a watery essence here. Yeah, there are many different good milky toners, or even more watery than that. You have the one from ISNTREE, for example, is a good option. This could be a good use of an essence to kind of splash your face and wake you up in the morning. Hydrating serums play a big role here, especially ones that are heavy hyaluronic acid, glycerin-based serums that are gonna give you that immediate plumping effect. That can really help with a lot of the dullness that you experience, especially when you're feeling tired.
And then for a little more hydration, just beyond like an essence or a toner, I do love a good hydrating serum. One of my favorites still, VICHY Mineral 89, worldwide flagship product from them. Just simple, straightforward hyaluronic acid, glycerin, hydration, lightweight, feels great.
All right, so outside of hydration, are there any treatments that you would recommend, serums, for the morning really to help with that glow or radiance or waking you up?
So this is where I think one of the newer ingredients comes across, and it's NAD. So this is a name that's been heralded in the longevity space, and now it's in the skincare space. But really NAD functions most at the cellular level for energy. And although, no, I'm not proposing it's like a direct translation to energy from your skin, replacing the energy from you didn't sleep. But really it does have some long-term benefits, or it does have some benefits for the skin in helping revitalize it. It looks more healthy, it seems more awake. And so this product here from Medicube, this is their EGF, one of the growth factor products out there, with NAD, their firming serum. And again, fragrance-free, which I love, and also a beautiful red color and I am a sucker for color, love the aesthetics and feel of this product.
Yeah, I think in general, it's just like a beautiful hydrating serum, but then you add in the growth factors, which an affordable growth factor serum, hard to find. You can find this in this one. And then you have the NAD, which is gonna help with that cellular energy. At least it's gonna give you the substrates necessary of cellular energy, and then can also contribute to waking up. But just in general, can sub out for your hydrating serum in the morning, and it feels incredible on the skin. It's not tacky, it absorbs instantly and gives you that instant hydrated glow.
And along with loss of collagen, elastin, and other things in our skin over time, NAD levels also decrease in our skin over time, starting at the age of maybe mid-20s. It just coincides with everything, so replacing this is just another way to complement your whole entire skincare routine.
So a lot of the serums that would be put in this part of your skincare routine aren't gonna give you that immediate effect when you're immediately feeling tired, but those long-term effects are the things that contribute to you looking tired, like dullness, like wrinkles, like texture issues. A lot of your serums can target those. And so vitamin C does play a role here. Vitamin C helps with collagen, it helps with brightness, it's a tyrosinase inhibitor. So long-term integrating vitamin C into your skincare routine can solve a lot of the issues that you have with tired looking skin. And then this is one of the rare scenarios where I would recommend The Ordinary's caffeine and green tea serum. This is something that I would often recommend for people underneath the eyes for depuffing, but it could also be used as an over facial serum for someone who is feeling tired in the morning.
Very simple, complimentary product from The Ordinary. Love the price point. And then I guess after that, we're on to protection. So you've used most of your active ingredients to help treat, refresh, revitalize the skin. Protection, you are now left with moisturizer and sunscreen.
Right, and so moisturizers here, again, I think moisturizing is gonna help with a ton of the issues that people are having where their skin is feeling tired, because a lot of that dryness plays a role in making everything look worse. So texture will look worse when your skin is dry. Your wrinkles will be more prominent when your skin is dry. And so everything is gonna accumulate, especially if you're somebody who's traveling, you're in an area that's low humidity, for example, or high altitude, your skin's gonna be very dry. So more occlusive moisturizers can be useful here. And so any richer cream moisturizer, I'm always gonna be a big remedy for rich cream moisturizer user. It's actually become a favorite of many of yours. And then one that we talked about recently, which is the SOONJUNG Intensive Cream Moisturizer, which I think is a lovely moisturizer for really any time of the year.
Yeah, and then for sunscreens, you know, this is going to be the last step, and just pick the one you love. The best have come out this year, actually. NEUTROGENA has their invisible SPF. That's one of my favorites. They have their Collagen Bank SPF. But again, it just depends on which one you will wear consistently, and that's gonna be the right one for you.
Right, and I really like, especially when my skin is looking rough one day more than others, and I was saying Dr. Maxfield's skin looks great today. Today I feel like I'm having a better skin day than usual. But on days where I feel like, you know, we've had to film or I've had something big coming up and I feel like my skin's not looking its best, I do find that tinted sunscreens are even more useful in this scenario. I like tinted sunscreens because they block against visible light, which contributes to pigmentation. So they give you better coverage against the visible light spectrum, but they also do have a slight makeup-like effect. So it's kind of like a light tinted moisturizer in some ways. So I actually like the ELTAMD UV Clear Tinted in this scenario because it has like this finish that gives you like a little bit of reflective glow. So I find that in a pinch, it makes my skin look better than it probably actually does look on that day, if that makes any sense. So I'd recommend the ELTAMD UV Clear Tinted. Use the medium tinted one here in this scenario, just because I think it gives you that elevated look without your skin being any different.
Yep, no, it's definitely a tinted, definitely a no makeup hack. I mean, in general, it's just a bit of camouflage, even if subtle. It's a great, love it. So we have a complete routine now, from what you do when you wake up to what you eat before you go to bed to what you apply topically in terms of masks, serums, products, moisturizers, and sunscreens. And that should help you look, wake, refreshed, even if you're not.
Yeah, and then the last thing that I'll say before we sign off here is this is probably one of the rare scenarios where a facial mist I've found is useful. So if anything, like there's been a couple times where I'm actually falling asleep during the day and I have a facial mist near me and it's a bit cool and I'll spray it and it gives me a quick dewy glow, but it also kind of wakes me up because it, you know, it's always like when you get a cool spray or water against the face, it's useful. So the one useful time where a facial mist comes into play here. Thank you so much to Medicube for sponsoring this video. Check out their eye patches, which are extremely viral, and they're new. This is a relatively newer product, their EGF NAD Serum, which is a beautiful serum in general.
Perfect. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Get some sleep. We'll see you next time.
By the way, Dr. Maxfield didn't mention in this part of the video is that he's also extremely tired right now because he got in to come visit for shooting at 2 a.m. last night. And so I think he fell asleep at 4 a.m. and he's not in his peak mode. So the perfect time to shoot this video. Thank you all for tuning in and we'll see you in the next video.
See you next time.